superintelligence. And the guy who just won the Nobel Prize for his work in AI, his name's Geoffrey Hinton, he says there's a 50% chance of artificial superintelligence causing human extinction. They are putting the lives of people I love at risk. They are putting the lives of people you love at risk. And they have to be stopped. And Sam Altman, the CEO of this company, says that superintelligence could be here in 3 years. We could all be fucking dead in less than 3 years. Stop AI!
Or we're all gonna die!
Stop AI!
Or we're all gonna die!
When all of our lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When the lives of people we love are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When the lives of our children are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When OpenAI tries to kill everyone on Earth, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! AI steals your work.
AI steals your job!
AI steals your work.
AI steals your job!
Shut down OpenAI! Shut down OpenAI! When whistleblowers die,
Resistance is justified!
whistleblowers die.
Resistance is justified!
We need to slam on the brakes if we're facing extinction and looking at it square in the eyes. And we cannot rely on profit motive to guide our best intentions. We have to collectively unify as a species, as workers, as common people against these systems. We can't have kids that are completely dependent on ChatGPT to do anything. They can't read, they can't write. We're facing a post-literate society, and it's extremely scary.
In the few years it's been here, I've seen so many of my classmates use everything with ChatGPT. One of my classmates, he physically cannot read a book without ChatGPT summarizing every part of it. And this generation, if we do not stop AI, they're just going to get dumber and dumber. They're not going to be able to read books. They're not going to be able to do anything. They're not going to be able to do basic math. Because no, they want Big Daddy ChatGPT to do all the thinking for them. We need to stop AI. It's going to destroy all of us. All the working class people, all the marginalized communities. They're going to come for us first. And then once the AI decides to cannibalize its own CEOs, what do they gain? Nothing. There is no winner if AI takes over.
The people that run AI are really taking over the government. They're techno-fascist. They have a fascist ideology. They don't believe that working people in this country should survive. And their idea is get rid of all working people, take their jobs, and make more billions of dollars of profit. The problem is that when working people wake up in this country, they have a problem. Because the drivers, the workers, the graphic artists, the writers, the actors and actresses, their lives will be destroyed by these companies. So we have to organize politically. What we really need is a general strike in this country. We have to shut down this country, and that shows the power of people. And we need a society where working people control the society. What we have now is these people, the techno-fascists, control our society. They control our government. That's a threat not just to us, but the entire world.
My name's Andy Lipson. I'm a school teacher in Oakland. I teach middle school science. And I found out this summer that I'm at a charter school, so it's not unionized. But I found out this summer that the teachers union basically had agreed to work with OpenAI, Anabolic, and Google to train 100,000 teachers on bringing AI into the classroom. People are leaving college now and finding there's no jobs because their job is being replaced by somebody, not just a tool that's a robot doing manual labor, but mental labor of lawyers, of teachers, of therapists is now being replaced and simulated by AI. I've been thinking about how would we actually stop AI, because that's going to be tough. But the thing I'm looking for, if we can find it, is school teachers in my school who are refusing to use AI tools and refusing to allow Google to collect data on students. That wouldn't stop AI, but at this point, I think the operation is about stopping feeding the beast and getting people to be more aware of, like, we got to stop using these tools because they're not tools, they're tools against us, not for us. Yeah. So I'll just say that. Thank you.
Well put.
Andy brought up a good point about how we actually stop AI. So our plan, if you're wondering, is basically we really love this one study that a Harvard professor named Erica Chenoweth put out. And in that study, she found that if you can engage 3.5% of the country's population in nonviolent protest, you're guaranteed historically to achieve basically any political demand. And this worked for like toppling dictators or achieving any high-level goal. And stay there until the U.S. government basically agrees to permanently ban superintelligence. Then we can stop this. And in that study, of the nonviolent revolutions that were successful, over 50% of them were successful within a year. So if you think superintelligence could be here in just a couple years, statistically we have a very good chance of stopping it with nonviolence. But enough people have to act now. So if you're worried about this, tell your friends to come to the next protest. We don't know when it's going to be exactly. We think it's going to be about a month from now. But we have to do something to show up and prevent our loved ones from dying or prevent our job from being automated. So thank you everyone for coming.
Oh yeah, the picture's gonna be facing the dildo. Okay. So like,
All right.
Everyone say Sam Altman's dildo. Sam Altman's dildo.
Stop AI!
Or we're all gonna die.
Stop AI!
Or we're all gonna die.
Fuck you, Sam Altman!
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck AI.
Fuck AI! Fuck AI! Fuck AI! Fuck AI!
Sure, I'll take them.
Okay, I have okay.
Who was involved in the signing process?
Yeah. These are like recently signing parties.
So you're affiliated with Stop AI. Can you tell me what you're doing out here today and what the message of this protest is?
Yeah, my name's Sam, protester with Stop AI, and we're out here today because OpenAI, this company we're protesting in front of, is building something that's going to kill everyone on Earth.
Okay.
They're building what's called artificial superintelligence, and the guy who just won the Nobel Prize for his work in AI, his name's Geoffrey Hinton, says there's a 50% chance that artificial superintelligence could cause human extinction.
Do you share that P-doom with Jeffrey Hinton?
I don't really believe in P-dooms because the probability of something happening is based on prior data, and we have never built superintelligence before. We don't know what the probability of it causing extinction is. It could be that it's 100%, it could be 1%. Our argument is that since you cannot have experimental evidence before building it that it will stay safe forever, you should never build it. Because it could be the second you build it, it 100% of the time covers the Earth in data centers. We don't know. And we will never know before building it.
Okay. Wow. So do you think there are any positives to AI? Like, is there a chance that this leads to medical breakthroughs that we wouldn't have otherwise had? Maybe climate breakthroughs, something like that. Are there any pros, do you see, or is it all negative?
Yeah, we're not no AI, actually. We're Stop AI, primarily because we believe artificial superintelligence should be permanently banned, but there are some narrow AIs which are just good at very specific things like doing medical research that are fine, but and can help with medical advancements and curing illnesses and whatnot, and fixing climate change. But it doesn't make sense to go build something general purpose that we would lose control of for the sake of fixing climate change and curing cancer if it's just going to kill us all or wipe out the biosphere. That doesn't make sense.
So is there a moment that you had where you woke up to this ideology or this thought? Is there a time or maybe an article you read or a video you saw where you thought, oh, this is the thing that I need to be involved in? This is the moment you had where you realized that it was worth protesting?
Yeah. I've been worrying about this since like 2016 when I read Superintelligence by Nick Ostrom, and then sort of, I don't know, worried about it and did nothing for like 5 years. And then when ChatGPT came out, 3.5, I realized that AGI was going to be here way sooner than a lot of people thought. And that's when I started doing something because I was just primarily worried about people I love dying. What's the point of curing cancer and fixing climate change with it? The second camp, or the second school of thought, is that it is a worthy successor. And our role as humanity is to be the bootloader, the thing that ushers this thing, superintelligence, into existence. And if it kills us and everyone we love, that's fine. And they think that themselves. Like, they're fine with it killing it. They just think it's their role to create it.
That sounds a bit bad.
And I'll give you a direct quote from Elon Musk. He said, like, originally I was dragging my feet on human AI and robotics, but then I came to the realization that it's either you can be a participant. Oh, he said originally, I don't want to create Terminator, and I was dragging my feet on AI and robotics because I don't want to create Terminator. But then he said, you could either be a participant or a spectator, and I'd rather be a participant. So now it's like pedal to the metal on digital superintelligence, and yeah.
So it's basically they're erasing each other to become the first one,
Yeah.
and they don't care about the consequences.
Yeah.
Someone actually put it really well. I think it might have been Tristan Harris. I can't remember exactly who said it, but they said, like, you know, it's exciting to start a fire, even if you know you're going to die in the forest fire. It's just exciting to start it.
So what do you think will convince people to take this seriously?
I just think we know that's what the experts say.
Yeah, but that feels theoretical. I think one of the problems when you're trying to promote something that's theoretical, they don't have an emotional reaction. They go, yeah, I kind of understand that, and I can see that's possible, but it's not a gut feeling. It's like a kind of reading a theory.
Well, do you think an ant would ever be able to control a human?
No, but then the ant doesn't know that it can't. You know, I don't know if the ant worries about it.
Well, there's plenty of extinct species who went extinct because we had goals that didn't align with them existing. You know, we cut down the rainforest, we drive gas-powered cars that warm the atmosphere. They're not around because of us, and we are the most intelligent species. We shape the planet the way we want it. We're very soon no longer going to be the most intelligent species, and this thing could want something that would lead to our extinction, similar to how we've caused the extinction.
And you think that's going to happen quite soon?
Sam Altman says superintelligence could be here in like 3 years. But there are ex-OpenAI employees who say it could be here 2 years from now. Yeah, but I mean, there's other employees at other companies saying that, and there's you know, the Joffrey Hinton says it could be like 5 or 10 years away. Even if it's that far off, we need to start doing something now because it takes time for society.
So what do you think people should do apart from protesting?
Protesting is the number one thing they should do. There's statistics that show that if you can get 3.5% of a country's population to engage in nonviolent protest, you're historically almost guaranteed to achieve any high-level political demand. And if we can nonviolently shut down the economy for long enough, we can force the U.S. government to permanently ban this, even if current politicians don't want to. So it's.
But what do you think about people who think, oh, it would be good if they cured cancer or something like that, and you're denying that possibility?
Well, okay, so we're not against narrow AI, AI that's just good at one specific thing, and you can use that to cure cancer, and you can use it to try to, you know, alleviate climate change. What you can't do is build something general purpose that we could lose control of for the sake of you know, curing cancer. If we lose
it's a bit
control
like nuclear power then, is it? Sort of like, you've got to have nuclear, but it also makes bombs as well as kind of makes the electricity.
Well, it's a bit different of an analogy. Specifically, like, I just like to focus on this one thing rather than compare it to nuclear because there's problems in the analogy. But, you know, if you build something smarter than humans, you lose control of it, and it causes extinction, what was the point of building it for curing cancer? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And if you can't have experimental evidence before building it that shows it's going to stay safe forever, then don't fucking build it.
So you think it's inevitable?
No, like it being built and causing extinction, I don't think it's inevitable. If I thought it was inevitable, I wouldn't get out of bed. I'm here because, specifically, there's a poll by a woman named Erica Chenoweth. She's a Harvard professor who looked at violent and nonviolent revolutions over the past 100 years, and she found that if you can engage 3.5% of the country's population in nonviolent revolt, you're very likely to achieve any high-level political demand. And of the nonviolent revolutions she looked at, over 50% of the nonviolent revolutions were successful within a year of their inception. So if we think we could be dead from superintelligence in just a couple of years, statistically we can actually stop it using nonviolent revolt.
I think I need to ask ChatGPT about this, whether that's true.
Well, use your own brain.
All right, so I would say that there are numerous reasons why I'm very concerned about the development of these increasingly powerful AI systems. On the one hand, you have people like Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, who has repeatedly said that the technology he's building could very well result in, mass murder. Ultimately, the extinction of humanity. He was asked, "What's the worst-case scenario if we develop superhumanly intelligent machines?" And he said it's lights out for all of us. There was an interview he did in 2015 with the CEO of Airbnb, as it happens, in which he joked that the most likely outcome of superintelligent machines is total human annihilation. But in the meantime, at least we'll have some pretty good machine learning companies. So this got a chuckle from the crowd, but I don't think he's really joking, because he even wrote, in fact, that same year in his blog, that he thinks superintelligence is the greatest threat to human survival in the coming decades. So even if one is skeptical about the truth of what he's saying. Even if one thinks that OpenAI is not on the verge, as they claim, of developing superintelligent machines in the coming years, it is still extremely alarming to hear an individual who has billions of dollars running a company that is backed by tens of billions of dollars, supported by, funded by Microsoft and so on, make these claims, right? Most people, in most other situations, if somebody said, oh, I'm up to something that might kill everyone in my neighborhood, even if you think that they're a little bit nutty, that's still just a really alarming and unacceptable thing for someone to utter. So this is one reason I'm out here, but there's also, I think it's worth not losing sight of the fact that there is a multiplicity of different issues, problems associated with AI, from environmental degradation, the amount of fresh water that the data centers use up, algorithmic bias, the perpetuation, propagation of stereotypes. There is massive intellectual property theft. So I myself, I published with an academic publishing company called Routledge, which made a deal without my consent, without the consent of any of its authors, to sell the books that they publish to Microsoft, so that OpenAI can train their models on my intellectual labor. Right? I had no say in that. There's no consent. There's no compensation. So that's another issue that greatly concerns me. And then, of course, worker exploitation. Right? So there was this article that was published in Time magazine a couple years ago, I think it was 2023, that found that OpenAI had hired a company that was paying workers in Kenya as low as $1.32 an hour to basically sift through like material that constitutes the most extreme stuff you might ever find online. So like CSAM, descriptions of sexual assault and things of this sort. So these are individuals who are marginalized, who are disempowered, or in unfortunate circumstances getting paid almost nothing to basically get PTSD, right? And some of these individuals, their lives sort of fell apart. And there are basically just no consequences for that. OpenAI has not faced any consequences at all, neither has Sam Altman. And in the meantime, they're to the contrary. I mean, they're rushing to build increasingly large language models. Microsoft just bought 3 reactors at 3 Mile Island. So they understand that the amount of energy they need is enormously large, right? And in fact, Microsoft's carbon footprint, I think, is increased by something like 20% in the past few years. I think Google's has increased by something like 40% since 2019. And that's entirely because of the large language models that these individuals believe are the stepping stones that are going to lead us to artificial general intelligence, AGI. And the whole reason they want AGI in the first place is to create this utterly bizarre fantasy of replacing the biological world with a new digital world. Right? Altman himself has signed up with a company called Nectome to have his brain preserved if he dies prematurely, so that it can be digitized and uploaded to the cloud. And he said in an article for the MIT Technology Review that he thinks this will be possible in his lifetime. So the whole vision here is to create these increasingly powerful AI systems, because once you have superintelligence, then you have a means for realizing this utterly strange techno-utopian vision that none of us have consented to. None of us have been, our opinions have never been solicited by these individuals. So it's another way to put it is that the future that they're working towards through the development of these advanced technologies is deeply, deeply undemocratic and not inclusive. Right? If it were democratic and inclusive, companies like this would be actually, questioning people. I'll put it differently, showing some curiosity in what it is that the rest of humanity wants out of the future. And I'll mention one last quote from Altman, who was talking about how the board of OpenAI needs to include individuals who represent people from all around the world, different cultures, different nations, different peoples, etc. Because, in his words, and I'm quoting, because if I were in on this, I'd be like, why do these fuckers get to say what my future is going to be like? Right? Those were his words. So that's why he's recognizing the undemocratic nature of the race to build AGI right now. What did OpenAI do? Well, then they went on to completely fail to represent people from all around the world. And instead their board represents very, very narrow interests, a very small portion of the human population. And so for all these reasons, it's just a deeply elitist and enormously problematic world that they're trying to create through the development of these technologies. So on the one hand, the idea of utopia, I think, is deeply flawed. On the other hand, the push, the path, the journey towards utopia is causing all sorts of harms in the present. Environmental degradation, worker exploitation, and so on. So those are my two big issues with the ongoing race to build AGI with OpenAI here, and that's why I came out to check out this protest.
Well, I think AI can do a lot of good. I also think we need to maybe hit the brakes a little bit because things are getting kind of scary.
That we're really running out of time on this stuff. We were told at the Stop AI presentation that I first went to that we may have as little as a year and a half to 2 years before superintelligence will be achieved. So just on so many fronts, politically, socially, morally, economically, it just felt so many negatives to me. And it started off where we were concerned about the distinct possibility of human annihilation brought about by this superior machine intelligence that once achieved will not be able to be controlled. We won't be able to put it back. Once that genie is out of the bottle, we won't be able to put it back in because by then it'll be so vastly superior to us that we won't be able to outsmart it. We won't have a shutdown switch. So it's just a nightmare.
Well, the reason I hate AI is because right now these companies here are trying to develop AI systems that are much smarter than humans at pretty much everything. And there is no plan whatsoever how to make it safe. They don't even have a plan. And besides, in a couple of years, there's going to be terrorists that have access to these models. They're going to be able to give them advice on how to make bioweapons, how to use other terrorist attacks. And they still try to develop AI as fast as they can. It's absolutely unacceptable.
I do this for a living. I mean, I don't make protest signs for a living. I wish I did. That'd be an awesome living. But I'm a graphic designer and an illustrator, so this is the kind of thing I do all the time anyway, so I'm pretty fast.
And what does it mean to you, AI, as far as your job?
Yeah, it means that nobody's going to have a job, and we're just the first, the creatives. We're the canary in the coal mine, but everybody's going to lose their job because that's what they want. My sister was just telling me there's some AI company that said we're going to replace every job in 5 years, and I'm like, who's like, yeah, great, let's do that. That's going to be great for society. Let's replace everybody's job, you know, and our government's so generous. I'm sure the UBI would just be over the top. So, yeah.
So what's going to stop it? Because they would argue, well, technology, you can't stop technology.
The people. The people have to stop it. We have to have everybody against it.
Are you afraid of what's coming?
Absolutely. Yeah, and you know, once you drew the line from the Trump organization to all these tech guys, oligarchs, it's like there's fascism wrapped up in a little bow. And yeah, I'm totally worried. And I think that the only thing that will overcome AI is if the people decide, no, I'm not going to use it. I don't want it. Like if I'm working with a company and I see that they've incorporated AI, and a lot of them do it just to look cool, I won't work with them anymore.
My name's Yako. I'm here outside of the OpenAI offices today as part of the Stop AI protest, and they're trying to sell this promise, this vision of AI will help humanity, will save humanity, will make the world a better place. We do not need a superintelligence to make the world a better place. All we need to do is be better humans today. Start taking care of each other today. Rebuild communities. Take care of each other. Stop being so heartless, stop being so selfish, so greedy, and stop being so afraid of these people with all this power and all this wealth who are trying to intimidate us and scare us and bore us and just make us feel soulless inside. That's all we need to do to make the world a better place. Have a humanity-powered movement today. We don't need some fancy robot or some artificial intelligence to make the world a better place.
What's your sign about? It's a reference to something, right?
It is a reference to an old Twilight Zone episode where aliens come to Earth and they say, oh, we have this book about how to serve humanity. And the big twist is it was a cookbook. They want to serve humanity. They don't want to serve humanity.